Yo, what's up? It's DNA for sure, and this is the 13 steps. 13 reasons that people will not buy drugs from you. The first reason is that you short. Do not short people. If they want to give you $15, $20, $25, sometimes back in the day, $35 for a gram, give them a gram. Whatever you say that you're going to deliver, deliver it. Don't do point sevens. Don't do point eights. Give them 1.0 on a scale. The next reason is you seem desperate. Don't lie. And I don't know what that. I'm making notes, but don't lie and don't make it seem like you're really desperate and trying to sell people your drugs. If you have to do anything, let them smell it, let them taste it, let them hold it, let them play with it. Don't be don't come off too desperate. Number 3 is don't work on drug dealer time. However long you think it's gonna take, be real with them. You might be desperate to make a sale, but they will appreciate it a lot more if you're gonna say you're gonna be here in a certain amount of time. Some people are willing to wait that time because your shit is the shit. So if you get the best that you can get and it's the best in the city and it's the best and it's good and it's worth the wait, get the shit that's worth the fucking wait. Don't lie to people, don't connive people, don't finesse people. A lot of people think of hustling as finessing people. It's not. Get what you can get, do it well. The fourth thing is I don't know what bad means. I just wrote bad. Be good at what you do. Number 5, the packaging. And a lot of people appreciate bags. Some people don't care if you have it in, foil. If you deal on a bigger level, don't put it in grocery bags. Don't put it in foil. Have bags. Have things that you can actually scale up on. Don't freehand. If you have to freehand, if you have the best shit in your city, freehanding is not a problem. Especially if you tell them to bring a bag, to bring their own packaging, because you just got it off the plane or the boat or whatever the fuck it is, or off the brick or out the fucking pound. Freehanding is, it's not that bad, but some people really appreciate the fact that you went to the fucking little head shop or you went to Smoke 911 in Sandy Springs off of Roswell and Hammond Drive, across the street from the IHOP, and you got your little Batman bags, or you got your Superman bags, or your Spider-Man bags, or your bags with the little, whatever. Packaging is really important to a lot of people. So even if you have to reach in your fucking ounce, play with it with your hands, put on the scale, and they have to walk out your car pretending like they don't have a fucking bitch load of weed in their hand, that's important to a lot of people. So if you can avoid freehanding, don't do it. The next is, oh, if he seems sketchy, and we have a lot to cover in this. If they feel like you can't be trusted, and that has a lot to go with your body language. If they can't look you in the eye, if you have a confidence problem or you have a mental illness or disability where you just can't look people in the eyes, sociopaths, a lot of psychopaths, a lot of schizophrenics can't look people in the eye. Um, if you have a bad reputation, that's not good for you to be drug dealing. If you're known to rip people off, if you're known to rob people, if you're a robber, or even on the flip side, if people are known to rob you, that's not even a good reputation for you to be selling drugs. If you're, shout out to the homeless people. But if you're homeless, a lot of people don't want to buy drugs from you because that feeds into the whole desperation thing. If you if they feel like they could rob you or you could rob them, that goes into the homeless thing. If you're somebody that nobody knows, if you're a drifter, if you're new to town, you know, if you are an addict, if you act like an addict, if you're always drunk, if you're always high, if you don't know what's going on all the time, if you mostly don't know what the fuck's going on, if you're selling drugs to people on the spot, you know, if they're meeting you for the first time and you're trying to sell them drugs, that's not always a good time to be making transactions. And if you're acting too serious and you're all fucking, that's not always a good time to be dealing with people, especially with a smaller amount of drugs. Next is if you're not consistent. I'm not saying to be late. I'm not saying to always have, you should always have the best. But if you're not consistent, if people can't really predict what you're going to do next, people find comfort in routine. The average mentally healthy human being finds comfort in having a specific routine. So, if you can better that, some people better their routines overnight. Some people have much better shits overnight and they never go back to that same bullshit. But people, that's just human psychology. If you're gonna get some shit that's fucking 10 times better, some people will be very apprehensive about fucking with you because they think that you're doing some underhanded shit, and they're gonna, especially if you sell things harder than weed. If you sell coke or heroin, if you get some shit that's like, okay, whatever, but now you have, you know, $70 grams, if you're doing coke, if you're selling coke, and you had the fucking, you know, the $20 grams, whatever it is that you're doing. But try to stay consistent. If you just met this guy at the bar or your cousin just got out and now you can sell them the $70 grams, a lot of people are uncomfortable with that because that's human psychology. But next, number 8 is sticking to one area. If you can get 30, 40 minutes, an hour away, people are going to appreciate that. And that goes back to the whole consistency thing. A lot of people are going to, you know, he only does this much and this much. Why is he willing to do? If you can stick to one area, that's great. But if you can meet a loyal customer about an hour away, or, you know, people who can't do that for a certain amount of money when it's worth it, a lot of people don't trust that because it's all about the money. The next one is having high prices, taxing people. My dad used to buy a lot of weed from one guy, and he used to always tax us like fucking $10, $20 for gas. And I was always like, dude, we can get the same amount of weed plus an extra 4, 5, 6 grams. And he works right there. He's not going to charge us gas. So don't tax people. Don't charge people gas money, which is your fucking responsibility. Do not charge people gas money. Don't be a broke ass fucking irresponsible ass drug dealer. Don't charge people gas money. And if you do, don't tell them about it, because that's petty. The next thing is, don't fucking keep texting people and calling them first, which is pretty lucrative for some people. Planting the seed, texting them, telling them that you have, You know, the OG bubble kush, you know, this and that, and I got some fucking shit, and this shit's numbing me up for the past hour, and, you know, this and that. But don't keep asking people if they need that. Don't keep asking people how their nose feels. Don't keep asking people, you know, if they need weed and bud and blah, blah, blah. Don't text people first, because number one, that shit gets annoying. Number two, it's pretty suspicious, and number three, that shit gets fucking annoying. It makes paranoid people more paranoid. If we need weed, we will call you, and I don't even smoke weed. But just don't do that. Don't ask people if they need weed just because you're hurting. That shit's fucking annoying. It's very good for advertisement marketing. Sometimes people get paid first of the month, full moon, first of the month and full moon. Full moon people are more likely. Look it up. Statistically, people spend more money during the full moon than any other time. But the shit can get annoying. It makes you less desirable. People don't want what they can get. People only, not only, but it's people want what they can't have more than what they can get easily. Number 11 is if you live too far. And I always tell you guys to travel a bit to get more customers, to get better connects, or more better, this and this. But if you live too far, if it's going to take you an hour to get there and we have to call you the day before so you can put it in your schedule, that's going to make you a less desirable drug dealer. And of course, a lot of people who do drugs are unreliable in the first place. So you traveling that hour, they might not answer their phone. They might get locked up. They might not charge their phone. They might get it from somebody else. And that goes back to number 2, feeling too desperate. People don't like desperate ass drug dealers. Sometimes people do it because when I moved out to the suburbs from Georgia, from different suburb, a lot of suburban people are just so lax about their money and have jobs and just really don't give a fuck about selling drugs. And that's just something to do, or they listen to a lot of Gucci Mane or whatever. And the last thing is being a last resort ass drug dealer. If you don't follow any of the steps I give you, and they feel like when all the fucking other drug dealers that I call don't answer, I'm just gonna call him. That's the worst thing you can be. Don't sweat it too much, because people, the custos are gonna let you know. They call you, if they only call you when you'll know. There's no way that you can not know that you're a last resort motherfucking drug dealer. Do not be a last resort drug dealer. When I lived in Sandy Springs, I'm not gonna say his name because I actually have love for the guy. But don't be a last resort drug dealer. Don't be the guy who, we've been waiting for weed for 4 or 6 hours. We've been waiting for weed for more than 3 hours. And I really didn't want to call this guy because he does this and he does that, and he's always tripping on acid when he drives, and he's always making a whole bunch of noise when he comes to my house, and he always acts like he doesn't know where I want to meet him, and he's always fucking 30 minutes late anyway. Don't be a last resort drug dealer, because that shit's really painful. And that fucks up other drug dealers in your area. So, you might not take it serious. And if you don't do it. Don't do anything that you don't take serious. You might not love it. You might not like it. That might not be your life. But take it all serious. Don't be a last resort drug dealer. If you're going to do something illegal, do it the best. Because you know what last resort drug dealers do? They get caught. They get caught and they snitch. So don't be a last resort drug dealer. If you're going to do something, do it the best. Stay in it for sure. I gotta piss. Peace.